Imagine for a second a world where gender isn't just male or female, but a whole fluid spectrum. It's not a new idea. For centuries, many indigenous cultures didn't just recognize, they actually revered people who embodied both a masculine and a feminine spirit. Today, we're diving deep into the powerful story of Two-Spirit people, a story of incredible honor, its violent erasure, and now a resilient fight for reclamation. And our guide for this exploration is the really groundbreaking research of Gregory D. Smithers. His work is so important because it just cuts through centuries of colonial myths and misconceptions to bring these vital and often suppressed histories back into the light. So, first things first. What do we actually mean by Two-Spirit? It's so crucial to get this right. This isn't just another label for sexuality or gender identity. It's a deeply spiritual concept. It describes a person who is understood to have both a masculine and a feminine spirit living within them. It's all about a spectrum, not a rigid box. To really wrap our heads around this, we've got to rewind the clock. Let's go back to a time before European contact. A time when so many indigenous societies all across North America had a much, much broader and more fluid understanding of gender. You see, in these societies, two-spirit individuals weren't just tolerated. They were absolutely essential. These were the spiritual leaders, the healers, the people you went to solve disputes. They were the keepers of sacred traditions. Their ability to see the world from different perspectives, to understand both the masculine and the feminine, was seen as this profound gift for the entire community. This ability to walk between what were seen as traditional gender roles, well, it wasn't just accepted, it was seen as a source of unique power and insight. It was a vital contribution that literally made the whole community stronger. Which, of course, brings us to the big, unavoidable question. If Two-Spirit people were so central to their cultures, how on earth did these traditions get so pushed to the margins and suppressed? Well, the answer lies with the arrival of European colonizers. Their arrival wasn't just a clash of armies. It was this profound and often violent clash of entire world views. And that was especially true when it came to ideas about gender, sexuality, and spirituality. And this really shows the fundamental collision of those worldviews. You had indigenous cultures that embraced a whole spectrum of identity, smashing up against a rigid European male/female binary. In this new colonial order, anything that fell outside that strict norm was labeled sinful, an aberration that had to be stamped out. And listen, this didn't just happen overnight. This was a systematic, multi-generational campaign of erasure. It happened through religious indoctrination, through the horrific system of residential schools that were designed to literally destroy indigenous culture, and through colonial laws that criminalized their very existence. All of this forced these sacred traditions to go underground. But, and this is the amazing part of the story, even under all that immense pressure, these traditions did not just disappear. They were kept alive through the incredible courage and resilience of Two-Spirit people and their allies, who found ways to hold on to their culture and identity against all odds. Certain individuals became these crucial protectors of their culture. Take Wiwa, a Zuni Lamana. An incredible artist, Wiwa moved between Zuni society and American officials, and even traveled all the way to Washington, D.C. They were a cultural ambassador, skillfully navigating two completely different worlds. The stories of people like Osh-Tisch, a Crow Bote, show that this resistance took so many different forms. Osh-Tisch was a celebrated warrior who literally fought to defend their people, embodying this powerful defiance against all the colonial forces that were trying to erase their identity. So this incredible legacy of resilience, it forms the bedrock of the modern reclamation movement that's happening right now. It's this really dynamic effort. It involves revitalizing traditions at powwows, sharing the rediscovered histories of heroes like Wiwa and Osh-Tisch, creating powerful art, and building strong community networks. And that brings us right up to the present day, where this journey of reclamation is more important than ever, especially as people navigate a really complex social and political landscape. So, what does that landscape actually look like for Two-Spirit people today? As they navigate their place within their own indigenous nations and within the broader Western society? Well, to understand the modern experience, you really have to think about intersectionality. A two-spirit person is navigating this complex web of identities all at once. Their indigeneity, their specific gender and orientation, their cultural heritage, and their place in the larger LGBTQ+ community. They're basically navigating multiple worlds at the same time. And this is why this is all so much more than just correcting the historical record. Reclaiming two-spirit traditions is, at its core, a powerful act of decolonization. It's a vital piece of the much broader movement for Native sovereignty, for cultural resurgence, and for the future strength of all Indigenous nations. So we'll leave you with this question to chew on. This powerful story of loss, of incredible resilience, and reclamation, it really isn't just about the past. It's all about the future. And it forces us to think about that unbreakable link between knowing our history, owning our identity, and shaping a more just and honest world for everyone.